Hello, Felina here. I thought I would come on and share this disastrous look with you. Okay, so yellow sweater. I'm also wearing black and white on the bottom. Yellow is one of my favorite colors. I actually really like how it looks on me. And this yellow eyeshadow I've actually never worn before. I've used it on McKenna and it looks just like the bomb.com on her. But I'll tell you why I look so strange in it, and you can see that my skin looks like a weird color. So I've done the color correcting on my face that I usually do. I've also done the foundation and the exact same contouring that I always do. So why does my skin look so weird right now? So this is your first indication that whatever color you've used is completely wrong for you. Okay? With your skin, like doing the same foundation and everything else that you would usually do, including wearing the same clothes. I wear this yellow sweater all the time, but actually putting it like on top of my skin is making my skin look really weird. Okay? And I'll tell you why that might be. Okay, I have a cool skin tone, so that means that my skin has a pink undertone, and so my foundation, I always need to have kind of a pinky tone to it, okay? Now my eyes are green, which if we look on the color wheel, green is actually a cool color as well, but they have a lot of golden flecks in them. Not sure if you can see that. And so with the golden flecks, I tend to actually really like warm colors on my eyes. Now warm colors are usually very flattering to everyone. I consulted with a professional makeup artist, well, I'm a professional makeup artist too, but a celebrity makeup artist who's been in the industry for a long time, and she's at the cutting edge of fashion. She said, when in doubt, choose a warm color. But I'm going to tell you why this is so horribly bad is because yellow I think is too close to green, and it just is weird. There's something about it. I can't really tell you why it looks so bad, other than you can just tell that my skin looks weird. Like I look ashy and dead. Like I have no color to my face, so not only do I look fair, but my skin kind of looks gray. Okay, my foundation color is right. It matches. My face matches my neck. There's no difference. So I know that my foundation color is right. It's not turning a weird color, but my skin just looks like, ugh. Okay, so this, I'm going to show you how I'm going to turn this around without taking this yellow off. Okay, so if we look at the color wheel, I talk to you guys a lot about the color wheel. When we look at the color wheel, usually using colors that are direct off of opposites from each other look really good together, but when you layer them on top of each other or mix them together, they actually turn into just like poo brown. Okay, so that is why we can use color to cancel out things like redness. Like I actually have a big red patch in the middle of my forehead, but you can't see it because I've used color and very little product to cover that up. Same with dark circles. I can use color to help hide dark circles without really taking a lot of product on, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use colors that are next to yellow that I already know look good on me. So when we look at the color wheel, things like orange, orange can mean anything from like kind of a coppery color to also like a dark brown. If you were to mix black into a like primary color orange, you would get a really nice neutral brown color. So I'm going to choose colors that are kind of between here and red because these all will look good together. This is what we call a harmonious color scheme. When we pick colors that are like related to each other on the family tree, we know that those are going to look good together. So as I've told you guys before, if you're scared of using color, and when you do use color, a good way to wear color in a very wearable way is to actually neutralize it with neutrals. So neutrals is considered black, white, although I don't think I need to add any more white to this. I'm already pale enough. And black is a little bit too harsh. When I have such fair skin, black is a little bit too harsh. Brown is also a neutral. It looks good on everyone. And brown, there's all kinds of different variations of brown. There's reddy browns, burgundy browns, golden browns, such like that. Navy could also be used, but I'm feeling pretty colorful as it is already, so I'm just going to pick brown, kind of different shades of brown to show you how I'm going to neutralize this, okay? I think I'm going to go for garnet. So garnet is kind of a red based brown, and I know that red looks really good on me with my green eyes, and it's also kind of adjacent to yellow on the color wheel. So I'm going to go ahead and use that, and I'm going to just layer it over top of the yellow. Now, because I'm putting it over top of the yellow, it may or may not be true to swatch to what it actually is right there. We'll see how it goes. So I wanted to show you guys how I too make mistakes, and I too like to experiment and try new things. But I wanted to show you how when you pick the wrong color, it can really make your skin weird. This is how a lot of people feel when they pick a red lip color and it's just the wrong one for them. They feel like it makes them look weird, and your automatic reaction then is to think that red is not your color. Not true. I actually wear like gold and yellow based products all the time, but I've never used like the straight up yellow. So that's a good example. All right. So it's looking better already. Do you see how much of a difference that made? So I'm just adding garnet. Like I'm taking a tiniest little bit. This is a new tube of garnet. I'm just taking a short, dense brush and I'm patting it in. Ideally, at the end, I'm really only going to have yellow kind of up here. You're just going to see like a whisper of it, really. I'm going to take a little bit more. I think the intensity of this yellow was just a little bit too bright for me. I need to make it more of a kind of golden color. I need to kind of, so I pretty much use this. I need to kind of bring it over here to more the orange because my eyes are green and my skin is cool. So I need it to be more of this tone because I'm a cool tone, which means I'm kind of icy. I have like blue undertone, okay? And orange is directly across from blue on the color wheel, and so that means it actually does work for me. You can cross over from cool to warm and warm to cool. Just has to be kind of the right way. So if I bring this whole eye look more over to orange, it's actually going to make my eyes look really green, and it's going to make my skin look really good. So I'm just going to continue adding colors until I get it to a place that I'm comfortable with. Because, well, I actually have to go out today. So I need to feel confident and I need to feel like it is something that looks good in order to not feel like everyone's staring at me. So I'm going to use Copper Rose Shimmer. This is an oldie but a goodie. It's kind of dark in here. I have a hard time seeing. So I'm going to pat that over top and I'm going to flick it up. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, blend, blend. I'm gonna drag it over top of the yellow so you can still see the yellow. Warming it up a bit. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to work on highlighting under my brow because I've really washed this out, and I want it to actually look like I meant to do this and that it wasn't a mistake. And so I have to just continue and make it look like a finished look. Otherwise, this to me looks kind of dirty for some reason. I think because it doesn't look very good on my skin. I need to kind of brighten up or liven up the skin around it to make it look glowy instead of sickly looking. I also need to add some warmth into my face by way of blush. And maybe a nice kind of warm honey color on my lips. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna add white underneath my brow. I'm using a kind of, it's called a pencil brush. Looks like a pencil. I'm gonna put it just under my brow and then I'm gonna blend it. Neutralize that yellow a bit. Use my finger so that there's no kind of dedicated line. Wasn't mashed into my brush very well. The key to having nicely blended product with these guys is really to blend it into your brush first so that you're not going on with too much product. And then it's much easier to blend. So I've been working with the tiniest bit of white here. I just used Snow. This is our white cream to powder shadow scent. It is amazeballs. I use it for everything. If you're not as fair as me, you would want to use Sandstone Pearl or Candlelight or Whisper Pink. One of those kind of matte guys that are quite light, depending on what your skin tone is. But because I'm so fair, I need to use legit white for it to do what I want it to do. To stretch out that skin there. If you have crepey skin on your eyelids or around your eyes, stretching out that skin and really working the product, really working it into and in between those fine lines is just going to make your makeup application look better. Okay, doesn't mean you can't wear makeup, can't wear eye makeup. Okay, I think I'm gonna use Garnet again because now everything is kind of melded in together and it just kind of looks like you can't really see the difference. And so now that it's dried, I'm gonna go back to Garnet so that I can neutralize it. You can still see quite a bit of the yellow, which is good. I don't want to make it disappear. I like the yellow. There's too much yellow. I'm going to darken up the outside. Does anyone else feel kind of Bumblebee-ish when they wear yellow and black together? Yellow and burgundy actually are an amazing combo. Like, look at my nails with yellow. That's a better combo than black, but I wear a lot of black because I like to have my makeup be more colorful and I like statement earrings and stuff. It's just easier. All right. Now I'm gonna use some liner, I think. I'm going to use the waterproof eyeliner pencil in black brown. I'm going to do what's called tight lining, where you line the inside of your eye. That is the secret to kind of getting that eyeliner look, where you accentuate and rim your eyes without kind of overdoing the whole eyeliner look. I'd say it's a more subtle way to do things. All right, now my cheeks. So I think the reason, let me explain, the reason that my skin still looks funny is because it's too cool, like it looks too icy. Does that make sense? So I need to warm it up a little bit. This is where blush, in any sense of the word, whether you use one of our translucent powders, this would be a good one. I actually really like the cream blushes though, so I'm gonna show you the color Terracotta. So Terracotta is actually the color that I use to color correct dark circles on lots of my customers. It is an amazing trick, and that works because dark circles tend to be kind of blue or purple, and so when we use orange or peachy colors on those, it actually cancels out, because what happens when we mix or layer colors that are across from each other on the color wheel, it turns to a brown color. And so that is how we get to neutralize those dark circles. But that said, we're using it as a tool, but we can also use it for what it's actually meant for. It's actually a cream to powder blush formula. So I will say that our blushes, they don't really look like anything spectacular when they're in the tube. Okay, and the color in the tube actually doesn't look much like what it actually looks like on your skin. See how that's kind of like a nice warm peachy color. Terracotta is an excellent name for it. So I'm just going to use the tiniest bit, and I'm going to use a dense brush. Now I have a dedicated brush that I use for blush because you don't need very much blush. So the key is to really mash it into your brush until you can't really see any product. You can see the bristles are changed, but you can't really see a blob of product. So I'm going to brush that over my cheeks. Smile. Put it on the apple of your cheeks. If you're more mature, you're going to want to start at the top of your cheek and flick down. So kind of hit the top of your cheek. Then I'm also going to use what's left in my brush, and I'm going to hit above my temples. This is going to do what's called warming up my skin. It's going to kind of bring my skin back to like a healthier, more human glow. That's a good way to explain it. Do you see how different? I'm going to put a little kind of over top of my nose where you would naturally get flushed or see color in your skin, especially if you're having this problem where maybe your foundation color looks to be wrong, but you just spent a mint on it and you don't want to return it, or maybe you're using your summer color in the winter because you can't afford to buy a new one. This is going to help. Okay, so warming up your skin. Do you see how much of a difference that made? It's very light. I'll post a picture after what it looks like. But it has kind of brought my skin back to life, and I'm really liking the yellow. My eyes look really, really green, which is the whole purpose of using fun colors like that, is actually making your eyes be this like focus, the centerpiece of your face. It's my favorite feature, so I always try to bring as much attention to my eyes as possible. So now I'm going to go in with my eyelash curler, get as close to the base as possible. Give it a good squeeze. If you have lashes long enough, You can, after you're done squeezing, you can move the curler up and squeeze again. It depends how curly you want them. You go from having it like curled like this to curled like this, depending on which position you kind of put your eyelash curler in first. I'm going to retrieve my mascara. I put it down in between the girls to warm it up a little. I'm on the last legs. This mascara is like at the end of the tube. I call it the last, it's on its last legs. And by warming it up, it kind of thins out the formula a little bit and it makes it stretch a lot longer without me having to purchase another tube. Light smattering. Gonna redip. I kind of bent my brush a little bit. This helps you to get to your opposite eye, the eye that's on the opposite side of your dominant hand. Some people have a hard time reaching across their nose, and some people are not able to actually flip their arm around to do it that way. When you do this eye, it comes naturally because it's from my dominant hand. In order for my lashes to look as close as possible to the same as this side, you know, like the slant and the kind of direction that your lashes go, flipping your arm around and doing it from this side is going to give you the closest look, make them look the closest, matchy directional, and kind of depending on the shape of the brush of your mascara wand, it might be a different shape, and that kind of makes your lashes a different shape. But some people really have a hard time with doing that. So bending the actual brush part of your wand will help you get kind of around your nose. So just stick the brush into the tube, into the neck, and then just bend it. Just don't bend it back and forth too many times because you'll break the whole thing off, and well, that's the end of your mascara then. Okay, let's pick a lip color. Again, I'm gonna warm. I'm very cool on my eyes, and so I don't want to go completely opposite on my lips, but I want to continue giving my skin that kind of warm glow, and I'm gonna choose kind of a warmer, I think I'm going to do like a honey coral color. Let me decide on something. This is Plum Pretty. Hasn't been used in a while. I haven't used this one in a while. It needs a good shake. It kind of reminds me of like a copper penny. I haven't used it in a long while though, so you can see the pigment is like kind of brown at the bottom, and then throughout I can kind of see like an orangey pink color. So there is a ball in the bottom of these tubes. You don't want to really smack it against something or your hand too much, but I do like to do it to kind of get the ball going this way, so that when I give it a good shake, I can hear that ball going back and forth. Sometimes if it has been sitting for too long, that ball kind of gets stuck in the pigment, and you have to be able to kind of lodge it loose, or unlodge it, is that the word? You have to be able to unlodge it for it to actually get mixing. All right, now we can see more of the true color. All right, there we go. That's the color it is. See how it's kind of like a warm copper penny. I like it because it's actually really frosty. It has a lot of dimension to it. It's not really just one color, which I think will go quite well with the theme I have going on here. I think I put a little bit too much color blush on my nose. I'm just gonna get my foundation brush and go over top of it. If you make a mistake, there's always enough product left in your left in your brush to kind of fix it. Okay, so lip sense, we're going to take the wand out of the tube. We're going to brush off as much product as possible. And then we're going to go ahead and put 3 layers on. This is why I love lip sense, because once I put the color on and I let it dry, I seal it with my lip gloss. My lips feel beautifully hydrated. But this beautiful kind of lip shape that I've given myself is going to stay there. It's not going to move. That gloss is going to soak into my lips and keep my lips hydrated. And when I feel like it's no longer doing that, I can go ahead and put another layer on. That was Rose Gloss. It's one of my favorites. It does not change the color of your lipstick too much, but it is a little bit thinner in consistency than Glossy Gloss, but it gives me the same amazing moisturizing effects. Okay, now from here on out, I stick that gloss in the girls. It's like a guaranteed pocket, and I have my gloss with me all the time. I'm still feeling a little bit pale, and so I'm going to use Silver Rose translucid powder. Key with this guy is to actually tap the powder into the brush. So there's a little sponge kind of in the middle here. You need to get the powder through the sponge into the bristles. It's kind of like a self-dispensing product, okay? I'm just going to use this more as kind of a contour. So contour, I'm going to use it kind of over top of my blush, sweeping up to the top of my ear. This is just going to add like a little bit of darkness and kind of dimension to my face. When you have super flawless skin, which I hope that you do, it feels really amazing to have super flawless skin. But that also means that sometimes you can lose a little bit of the shape of your face because there's no color difference when it looks kind of like a blank palette. Adding a little bit of color or shade, shaded spots and highlighted spots gives you some dimension. So I'm going to put this all around the outside of my face. It's very soft. It has the softest shimmer to it, but it is very neutral at the same time. Think of it kind of like a bronzer idea. And what is the purpose of bronzer? To kind of give you that like sunny glow, which is really what I need right now. All right, this is the look. Thanks for joining me. If you have any questions, make sure to post your questions in the comments below. I'm happy to help. Bye now.